What's up guys, Ben Clark here for Adapt to Perform. I'm back once again here with Rob. We're going to be doing some sport specific exercises today and show you sort of a bit about it. So if you...
Well, it's often when you go down the gym, you're just doing the same exercises as everyone else or trying to adapt them to what you can do. But if you're competing at a sport and you want to be really training the muscle groups that you're working in that type of sport, then a good way to do that is to break each movement down that you're doing in that sport into kind of the constituent parts and work on those elements to gain strength in those different areas, so then you can bring it back in when you're doing that movement. The whole thing, all those elements working together will make you stronger or faster or whatever you're doing for your sport.
Cool, so we're going to go through 3 different sports and do a couple of different exercises on each. We're going to go do a bit of swimming, do a bit of wheelchair racing and a bit of wheelchair rugby, yeah. So if you learn something new.
Yeah, well, these are just some ideas that we've come up with and the ways to break it down, so you might have other ideas yourself, but this might be a good starting point to get you thinking about ways you can do the exercises in the gym which will help the sport that you do.
Cool. So let's get on with it.
Yeah.
Alright, so for swimming, it's quite a complicated sport, and there's lots of different things we can do. But a good way to think about when we're exercising it is to break it down, as we were talking, into simple parts. So what I'm going to be doing on this one is going to be showing you sort of the front part of the front crawl. So one of the most important parts is what we call the catch, and that's this front bit here. So you can practice that quite easily, cable machine on, and we just pull that front bit here, and that's what sort of initiates that stroke. You're just going to pull in and back again, pull in, back again. And that's going to be a really good way to practice that sort of front end of your stroke, and then you can break it down from there. Alright then, so apart from breaking down all the strokes, what we can do is to focus on something that's really important in swimming, which is shoulder stability. When our shoulders are stable in the right place, it means that we can perform the exercise a bit better, or the sport a bit better anyway. So what we can do here is we can go pull it down, bring it up, and put it forwards. And what this is doing is not just teaching our shoulder to be stable in one position, is to be stable throughout the whole motion. So it's really good, not just for swimming, but for day-to-day life and other sports. So you can just pull up, back, up, forwards, and we can do it in reverse. And you just do your range of motion that you can do. So that's a really great way to get that shoulder stability throughout the whole range of motion.
Now for wheelchair racing, as part of the pushing motion, you get quite a lot of your push from the end part of the push, which is quite far around the rotation of the wheel. So a good exercise for that is to have the cable machine attached very low down. Go into a kind of flat on your chest position, and then you want a straight arm, just pulling backwards like that. So at the end of the push of a racing push, you'd be coming round the wheel and then with a straight arm pushing out back, and that's where you get your speed from. So this is a really good exercise for that, just working on getting your shoulder strength with a straight arm out the back of the push. Right, for lots of the types of sports where you're going to be pushing a wheelchair, the start position of the push is going to be quite key, getting off the line fast or getting away fast. So this is the first part of the push that I find is really useful. Again, you go down onto your chest onto your knees and get high arms, and then pushing down here. So it's getting your arms right up to the top. So this is either good for wheelchair racing or for rugby and stuff, wheelchair sports. So you're going to get that first part of the push in. What I find is good to do with this is you can do it with a fairly light weight and do it maybe 50 times, and then the next rep put the weight up a bit and then do it half that times, and then again put the weight up again and do it another few times. So as you increase the weight, you decrease the reps. So that's a very good way of starting that first bit of the push, just to get the dynamics of it. So for those people who do have a bit of core function, or you can just use your sort of shoulders to help you work into this one, you can get your arms in position here, keep your body as steady as you can, and sort of go forward. So that's another part of your push, or if you've got any back muscles as well, you can help with this will assist you go back up and way back up as well. So it's just working any core that you do have, even if it's just little flickers. You can use it to work down against gravity and then use the help of the weights to pull you back up again. So even if you've got a small bit of core, this can work on that area, which is again going to assist with the pushes. It's also going to help you balance to try and keep your body stable as you're going back up and down to try and stop you from twisting one side.
These exercises are great if you want to be practicing your strength for playing wheelchair rugby. So with rugby, you're doing a lot of reversing and forward movement off picks and pushing through open spaces, that kind of thing, so you need a lot of strength. For this exercise, I've attached the pulleys low down on the pulley system, and I'm using the D-ring aids attached around both wrists. Now I'm just going to push forward on both hands at the same time. This is going to give me some resistance as I push forward. It's going to make things harder for me. So this is both arms pushing forward at the same time, resisting against the weights, and then you can try a left and then a right hand push just using one arm. This is going to be great for strengthening the muscles as a resistance work for training. You could also do this in a rugby wheelchair if you wanted, or it works just as well in a day wheelchair. Do this a number of times, and then we can move on to doing it in reverse.
So again, in rugby, you can do the same exercise as we were doing just before, where you're pushing away. This one you're pulling backwards out of a pick, or just to change direction. It's a little bit harder, so it's going to be harder with these weights. But you can pull back, allow yourself to go forward, one side, and the other side. So a good set to do all three, and then you're working all the muscles that you're going to need to get off a pick and strengthen them up.
Cool, so there you have it guys, there's some really great little exercises you can do with that. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you Rob for coming along and showing us that.
Thank you for having me.
No worries, and we'll see you next time.